Welcome to the show, my friends. This is our class on mastering the market, how to close strong in 2023 to create a dominant 2024. What we are going to be learning today is going to be a ton of amazing things. My name is Michael Picola. I am a branch manager of the Mortgage Exchange. My goal is to educate real estate agents to help them grow their business, giving them things of worth, things that they can do today to grow their business. And of course, build 1 billion in real estate wealth to my friends, family, and obviously consumers that we work with. I consider them friends and family once we are done. My other wives are my girls. I am a girl dad. I love listening to the Frozen soundtrack. I say that tongue in cheek, of course. Golf sports family. I'm your normal, just average gentleman, I could say. I have been a owner / branch manager of the Mortgage Exchange for the last year, with 12 years of mortgage experience and about 15 altogether when it comes to banking. Let's keep moving on. This is my company's claim to fame. It's our process. If you want to learn more about that, definitely reach out. It's Realtor Forward, client first mentality, conversion rates up to 40%. And save agent partners 3 to 4 hours a week, creating $25,000 more in income on average, and introducing you to 3 to 4 more clients with every referral that you give. So consider it like a warm referral program. So I just want to show some stats here, some ideas of why a lot of this stuff that we're going to be talking about is important. And it's going to be about showing up. If you do not have your socials in line, definitely reach out to us because we can help you get there. We have hired the top social media coaches in the country, as well as the top mortgage coaches in the country, to help you do more. Again, we want to be forward facing on that. And this is the other thing that you want to start thinking about over the next couple of years. The buyer growth is going to be absolutely crazy. So what end of the spectrum are you going to be on? So let's talk about the agenda with the class. So we're going to be talking about mastering the market at the moment, overcoming buyer and seller reluctance, finding the motivated, unlocking your database, and of course, a social media content strategy. Working all of these will help us overcome what is going on. So some things that you want to point out is, as of right now, changes by state in 2022 with membership of the NAR are being consistent. Obviously, we already know that we are at the world's lowest inventory market to date. And what this just means is when those rates go down or buyers start penting up more demand, there's going to be more competition out there. So what we want to do is help you understand what you can do now to prepare for that future and create yourself as the subject matter expert. Because at the end of the day, what can you control out of this list? There is nothing on this list that you personally can control. There is nothing that anybody can do to cover this. However, what we want to control is our mindset, our skill set, and our actions. Our goal is to be subject matter experts, understand what is going on, and being able to articulate why it is important. So let's get into it, because it's going to all come back to how you respond. If you have that negative thought process when you're talking to a client, you, of course, are going to project negativity. And that is what we're trying to get away from, because it's not about survival of the fittest. It is about adaptability and being able to adapt and adjust your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors to changing situations and conditions, being able to rapidly learn new skills in response to the changing circumstances. That is where it's going to start coming. If you want to get away from a lot of the online stuff, then you may be left behind unless you have an amazing database, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. But some of the strategies that you need to be adopting are going to be in this presentation. So 3 skills to thrive in any market and in any situation: audience building, deal creation, deal conversion. Again, using our process, we can help you with the deal conversion and deal creation and audience building. That is part of our partnership with our with our process, right? We want to go in deep with every team that we work with, every agent that we work with, and help them do more business. The market of the moment. What is the market of the moment? Well, it's very obvious. Low inventory, high rates, and a ton of uncertainty. What is the market? What this market actually requires? You need to understand the market, have a plan, get engaged, and of course, embrace the suck. Oh, went too far there. This is where you need to become a student of the market. Most agents know what's going on. Good agents understand it, but great agents, the career agents, the ones that are never going away, are always going to be able to explain what is going on and educate. You cannot force somebody to buy, you cannot force somebody to sell, but you can show them data points and understanding the local market and understanding what is going on to better articulate and help them make a better decision for all. So this is one chart that I think is going to be the most important that you're ever going to see. So I will remove myself from the screen so you can get a screenshot of that for your data. And what this is going to say is we are in the lowest inventory market in history. It is extremely hard to have a market crash when there is no supply. You cannot have a housing market crash when there is no supply. I will repeat that one more time if you need me to. I don't think you do. But traditionally, housing inventory has been between 2 to 2.5 million since 1982. During the peak of the housing bubble years, inventory was around 4 million homes. Today, we are around 1 million homes nationwide. What does that mean? That means you only have roughly, and this is nationwide, every market center is different, but we are at a point in time where we are under a 3-month supply. To have a normal market, you want to have around 6%. Existing home prices are up 3.9% year over year, with the demand near 21st century lows. How is this possible? The simple answer is we have too many people chasing too little homes. So let's talk about this chart real quick. As you can see here, people do not realize we actually saw that housing crash that everybody was talking about and prices going down. What happened here? Well, let's see. The interest rates started rising. People started getting uncertain, and then they kind of bottomed out. And what they were saying was they thought that housing was going to start going down, which is going to drive up inventory, which will kind of fix some of the market. But as you can see, real estate will survive, especially with the lack of inventory. So that is why it's another important reason to believe that now is a good time to buy, is always have that in your mind. But when you say it's a good time to buy, you got to have the stats, you got to have the data to back it up. And we're going to move over here. We're utilizing the Cincinnati market here. If you have or need data points on any other market, please reach out. We have access to all the charts you need anywhere in the country. We can show you by zip code, by city, by state, whatever you need to see. But this is very important to see. Cincinnati housing prices by bedroom type for September of 2023 compared to last year's data, on average has increased by a substantial amount depending on what you're looking at. Obviously, 1 bedrooms are up by 9%, 5 bedroom plus are up by 1.4%, but like the average sales price on the houses is going to be anywhere between 6% and 5%. So a huge bump from what they thought was actually going to happen. Understanding the data when we get that to you, or if, depending on where you want us to send you that data, how many sales out of this number did you get in your market center? Obviously, you can pull this data yourself, or again, we can send it to you. Number of homes for sale as of August of 2023, 2,889. In September, they went up to 3,018, and that is a 4% increase, 4.5% increase. Number of houses sold year from August to September is down by 13%. Well, some of that can be contributed to the interest rates again hitting the highest level in 20 something years. But there's a lot more to it than just that. So let's talk about, when you're having this conversation with potential buyers and potential sellers, understanding home sale breakdown. Again, this is based off the Cincinnati market, but this data isn't that much off from anywhere else. 276 homes were sold under 30 days, 118 homes were sold in 30 to 90 days, and 5 homes were sold in 90 days. How many homes in Cincinnati were selling fast? If your buying plan is to act quickly. So having an understander for your buyers and sellers, this chart data. So basically 70%, we'll call it 70% of those homes were selling within 30 days or less. So a somewhat normal sales plan. I think we're going to see this going down as those interest rates start to drop eventually over the next 2 years. That's obviously going to go a little crazy. This is why, and this is one of the most important charts that you can send. Again, you can customize it based on your area for sure. But understanding and pricing the property correctly. Now, obviously, I know there was issues with cyber attacks earlier this year, and they're still dealing with that. However, having the right priced house, using a professional like yourself, and having the data to back it up is always going to help. So if you're buying a home in this market, expect to pay close to asking price. So 84.2%. So 85% or 84% of homes were sold near asking price this last month. Overcoming a buyer and seller reluctance, obviously having that basis that we just spoke about is going to be key. Do you have any buyers and sellers who are reluctant? Let's talk about how to overcome that. What home buyers are doing, they're waiting. They are thinking in their mind, based off of what everybody else is telling them, wrongly telling them, that it's best to wait for those interest rates to drop. What we can do for your buyers and even your sellers is show them a cost of waiting analysis. Soaring costs have pushed pending home sales down 13% from a year ago. The total number of homes for sale is down 16% as many homeowners stay put and keep the relatively low mortgage interest rate. So that's kind of the mentality that everybody has. They feel like they're almost stuck. But utilizing an average cost perspective in the Hamilton County market. Again, this data isn't much different, and every market is different, but we're just utilizing this market because this is where we chose. Loan today, if you were to lock it in, we're around 7.5%. That can change, obviously, as we know, daily. If you look and wait 6 months, you could lose out on 1% in equity in your property, meaning that the interest rates dropping could drive those prices up even more. Waiting a year, you're going to lose out on 6%. Waiting up to 3 years, 14%, almost 15%. So the cost of waiting is going to be great. However, the one thing that you need to know and understand truly is what the motivation of them buying is. If it's feeling like sitting on the sidelines, is their better option? You have to understand why they want to wait. It's all about affording the payment of the now and understanding that math and that data, and getting somebody with a mortgage professional can easily help them understand that. If the mortgage professional that you're working with doesn't understand that data, they can easily call me, or I could call you and give you the math and the data points that you can have that conversation with those potential buyers and sellers to understand what affordability really means to them. So anyway, cost of waiting chart, kind of continuation on before. Waiting a total of 3 years, you have a potential of losing $55,000. So this next chart is something that can be customized for every single buyer. But with that being understood is what it means between the cost of rent versus buying. Now, obviously, we do know that rents are starting to level out. In some areas, maybe renting is better. But this is the most important thing that I think you can understand. I sell 2 products to clients because there's obviously, we have a vast majority. We have over 100 different companies that we can partner with to get them the best deal. However, there are 2 things or 2 mentalities. There is an investment property, and then there is a home. An investment property, in my mind, is something that you're going to be in 5 years or less. Your goal is to make it better and make money off of it to get to your next property, which is a home. So anything over 5 years or more. When you get to that home, you're going to want a little bit more of your needs and wants versus that investment property. The other thing that people need to realize is, yes, it is a 30-year mortgage, but you're not going to be in that mortgage for 30 years. The average in that mortgage is around 5 to 7 years. Obviously, look at 2020, 2021, the interest rates dropped, they went back up. They're expected to go back down eventually. Again, they're never going to hit that 3% range, though. That is one thing that you want to make very clear to the reluctant buyers is like, look, if you're waiting for that to happen, you're going to miss out on a ton of equity opportunity. And you can utilize that equity to grow your wealth. Hence why our goal is to build $1 billion in wealth. So what are the sellers doing? They're sitting on the sidelines with the low mortgage rates. A few more home sellers have jumped off the sidelines. It's possible that sometimes homeowners are taking advantage of rising home prices and lower inventory and counted on it being one of the only homes for sale in the neighborhood. And that is a positive thing that you can put out there, that you have a low inventory market. Pricing it correctly will allow you to get rid of it and get the most money. People over the last few years have printed money when it comes to their homes. That is one thing that you need to realize is people are going to be living in their homes basically for free with the equity that they're getting. So mortgage rates and understanding what people have and why some people are reluctant is this. 26% of Americans have a sub 3% interest rate. 44% have a 3% to 4%. 20% have a 4 to 5%. 5.3 is 5 to 6%. 3.7% of Americans with mortgages have a 6%. Or a greater, so 3.7 have a greater than 6%. So that number of buyers now is obviously lower with those higher mortgage rates. 96.6% of Americans have the least amount of worry because their rates are low. Their mortgage payment is obviously, controllable. Americans sitting on a tremendous amounts of equity, though, is where you want to come in as that subject matter expert. And we'll talk about how you can unlock those conversations here a little bit later. So at least 68.7% of Americans have paid off their mortgage or have 50% more equity. This is another thing that you can point out to those naysayers that believe that the housing market is going to crash. There is not enough out there to make it crash, and the equity is there. So if you need to get out of a tight situation and you're a homeowner, pulling the levers, selling the house, paying off all your debt, and living debt free, there's no better way to do it. That is why it's a beautiful thing to be a homeowner. So this is another chart that you should have in your back pocket, something that people need to understand where we were this time last year versus where we are. And what we think we're going to end the current year. And this is equity forecast for the end of the year. So as you can see, either lining up even in some locations all the way up to a 6% increase in equity over this year. So that just truly means that you're buying a home is part of a game plan, and that you need to understand what your exit strategy is. And understanding exit strategies and helping your clients understand exit strategies are going to be huge. And that, again, comes back investment versus home. So the shifting from a negative to a positive. So as of right now from Q3, obviously we're in Q4 now. This is the projections or forecast for the next couple of years. A little sense of normalcy here, I think we can all say. So year over year, over history, we can look at this in a certain light. We can look at this that in years over years, minus the pandemic numbers and obviously the crash, if you average it all out, 2 to 5%, give or take, on your market is where you will understand the equity building. So that is why you need to understand your exit strategy, and having a good exit strategy conversation with those clients up front before they buy the house to make sure that they're always going to be happy and content will help you win more business from those families. Here's just another appreciation over the next 5 years and having a full understanding of it. Again, the charts can be customized to you. In times of uncertainty, people seek context to help them make sense of what is going on. Again, that is why we're showing you all these stats and the data and how you can utilize those to have those open conversations. When people say, oh, I'm going to wait for the housing market to crash, you simply go, there is no way that it can crash, and then show them the data points. If they bring up things that they have been seeing on the internet, hence like the Airbnb crash or crazy foreclosures, we are still at all-time lows for those. And then the Airbnb, that's only going to help. It's not going to hurt this market. We are way too low right now. So now it's time to sell the things that we want to sell to the people that are ready to sell. You cannot force somebody to do it. You can just entice them to show them why it is still a good idea. So let's talk about finding the motivated. Now, look at unlocking your database and sphere of influence is going to be the biggest key to your success in the upcoming months. Effectively working your database can generate a 10% yield. Every 7 to 10 people in your database can equal 1 transaction. That is huge. So what are you doing to maintain your thoughtfulness and staying in front of your database? If you are not actively pursuing your current database of buyers, sellers, and prospects, you will be losing out. Somebody else will. Your database is the people that you are going to market to, contact, and connect with, and provide value over time, cultivate relationships with. And this is where it is so important. 41% of real estate agents got referred by a friend, relative, or neighbor. 26% use the same agent as previously to buy and sell a home. Only 26%. That's ridiculous in my opinion. That is something that you want to stay in front of. That is why it is important to at least market to your past client database and have those phone conversations. How do you have those phone conversations? You use the 10-1 ratio in your favor. So 100 people in your circle of influence database, 40 annual contacts equals 4,000 total touches. Some can be automated. 100 people divided by 10 is the conversion ratio. 10 closed transactions. Let's break that down even more to understand what we're talking about here. 100 people in your database, call them 4 times per year. That's 400 total calls, 5 days a week, 250 business days, 400 calls divided by 250 business days, 1.6 calls a day. So if your database isn't that big, you got way less of a number that you have to hit. However, you need to understand that you do need to pick up the phone and give them a call. That is the least of your worries. And if you have not had those conversations with them, you need to understand why that is important to re-engage with your past client database. Tim Smith with Coldwell Banker has over $500 million in sales. What is his tactic? His number one success secret is when you call your database, add new people, and have conversations, good things happen. Here's Tim's daily action plan with an emphasis on conversation. He calls it the 5-5-4-2 plan. Conversions with people you know, conversions with people you don't know, conversions with lead follow-ups, and connecting with connecting with people that you have connected with in the past that you have not sold anything to, and then 2 videos per week. So every single day or every single week, you are calling, and this is a minimum, right? Minimum is where you're at. Obviously, doing the power of 1 more is going to help you. So 5 people you don't know, 5 people you do know, 4 people that you want to convert, and then putting 2 videos out there into the world to help drive your subject matter expert. Here is an amazing script that you can utilize. Here's a sample script to call your database, connect, and collect any missing information you do not have. Maybe it's been a while since you've called your database and you're reluctant to call. What is the worst they could say? Who is this? Oh, sorry, I've already sold my home. If you're not calling your database, another agent likely is. If you are not calling your database, somebody is. It is a low inventory market with more agents now than ever. Yeah, there are a loss. I think that we lost 20% this year. However, there are still people out there calling your people. Don't let somebody else close your deals. Here is a great text message that you can utilize to reach out to buyers and stay actively engaged. Just out of curiosity, have you been following the housing market? Obviously, asking them what their thought process is on it and understanding how their mind is going to work. Again, if they're not sellable, you can move on and just maintain contact with them. If they're ready to go or reluctant, you can show them the data points that we've already talked about and why it's still a good time to do what we do. This approach is something that my team and I have been doing. It's something that we truly believe in. It's something that you can do too. If you want to learn more about it, definitely reach out. But what you do is another engagement with your past client database, sending them a screenshot of the most popular website out there. There's two that you can utilize. We're using Zestimate at this point, or the Zestimate approach. You send them a copy of what you find on Zillow. You say, what do you think about that? And open up a line of communication. Here is where it's going to be the most important data point, is understanding the difference between a Zestimate and the reality of it. We're going to have a video that's going to come up next that I'm going to let you play and let you see and understand why that is important. But 3.2% of listed properties are off, or 3.2% off rate on listed properties, and 7.5% of properties are off, or 7.5% off when it comes to the ones that are not listed. So basically you're off by 3% if it's listed, or off 7.5%. So on the average of 407 nationally, that's roughly $13,000 on a house that's listed versus a house that is not listed. That's closer to $30,000. So showing the importance that you are the subject matter expert, especially if they think they can sell the house by themselves and they're using the Zestimate, they are leaving a ton of money on the table, and that's why you're here. So here are some top email campaigns that you can utilize along with that to stay in front of people. So the email newsletter is the simplest form of email marketing. The purpose of a newsletter is to provide expert content your readers can count on to keep your services top of mind and potential new clients. It just like print newsletters equals newsletters go out at set frequencies, such as weekly or monthly. Most commonly, newsletters share your latest listings, upcoming events, the latest real estate trends in your areas, and the real estate blog post or summary of what is going on your real estate blog post, or driving them to somewhere else. One of the easiest, most popular newsletters that you can send as an agent is the market update. There is a little value in just sending them generic marketing information. Adding your own personality hot take that puts that information into context for them helps them add or increase the trust with your followers. Quick hit 1 to 3 minute videos are a perfect way to do this. This is the annual equity reviews done by an amazing agent, John Elliott, out of Phoenix, Arizona. You are going to want to watch this video real quick, and I'm only going to play about 20 to 30 seconds of it. And if you want more of it, you just let me know.
Hey, Jane, it's John. I just wanted to shoot you this quick video message to say happy home anniversary. It's been 4 years since you bought your home over on Banana Street, and I hope it's been an amazing home for you guys. But in the meantime, I just want to say congratulations, because without a doubt, over the last 4 years, you guys have done incredibly well. So I wanted to give you a market breakdown now that you've been.
What that video did, or what he did, is he used actual data versus what people are thinking, moving it together and showing them what they have done over the last X amount of years, right? If you followed up with them every single year, you claim, you show them those different data points that they have. If you have not, you show them kind of what you did there. What you are doing is you are just pointing out what they have done with their equity. And this is another way of engaging it. When you are engaging them, you are showing them the possibilities that they can do with their equity. As a financial standpoint, I'm thinking it's better to clear out some of the debt, especially if they want to get out of the situation that they're in now. Most people have outgrown their homes, but they feel stuck to the interest rates. That is where you can educate them on the national debt. You can educate them on how they can get rid of the debt and the payments that they can save by refinancing and getting prepared for next year. You can show them the value that they could add to their property by updating their property. You could show them ways that they could pull their equity out without touching the lower interest rate and buy more property, right? I think the charts and everything that we have showed earlier speak for themselves. So here's another video follow-up. This is the video if you want to screenshot it here. That is what they did. Now, this next strategy is how you kind of do that with prospect leads. You can kind of use a video message like they did, or you can do a phone call. Hey, name, this is before you make up your mind about housing plans. This year, we wanted to inform you the current inventory has ticked up. It also looks like interest rates may have finally normalized. Again, you're just enticing them to have that conversation with you. This could mean that the market activity will pick up. Would you be open-minded to have a quick call to talk about your future goals? So now, this woman is an absolute genius. If you have not thought about doing this and want to do this, we are all open and we have the forums and everything that you need to do. One thing that you need to understand is not a lot of people are doing this right now. This is a approach of hosting seller seminars. We have a ton of first-time sellers that should be hitting the market over the next couple of months.
Hi guys, it's real estate broker Maureen Folan with the Maureen Folan Real Estate Group. I am so excited to invite you to my home seller seminar. We're hosting these seller seminars in my office on Saturday. And there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, right? There's a lot of people not sure which way to go. So my job is to put your fears at ease. We're going to discuss all things related to the home selling process from A to Z. We're going to talk about New York City closing costs, capital gains tax, preparing your home for sale to maximize its value. We're going to talk about really what's happening in the local Queens real estate market. So feel free to pass this along to any friends or neighbors or relatives that are looking to make a move in 2023. You absolutely don't want to sell your house until you attend my seminar. I look forward to seeing you then. Bye. Hi, guys.
An amazing thing. So here's an example of her mailers that she sends out to the market that she's trying to get, along with QR codes and setting it up, Eventbrites, all of that stuff. We have all the things that we can talk about there. So here's some key points that we want to talk about and do, or your key points of what you want to do in the seller seminars. Know your target market, understand all of it. So obviously the data points that we showed before, we customize that for you. Provide food. We will sponsor these for you. Plan your marketing. Know where you're going to go. Door knock around the areas that you want to target. Email, social media, Eventbrites, everything all at once need to be put together to make sure that you are good to go. So, talking points: market conditions, best time to sell, capital gains tax, closing cost, selling as is versus fixed up, interest rates impact on the market, and where the market is heading over the next few months. Now, follow up. This is going to be the most important because you could have 100 people in the room, but if you never follow up with them, you're not going to ever get a sale. So follow up is huge. Personalized thank you videos. Very simple to do. We utilize BombBomb. If you need access to our BombBomb, we will give you access and help you send those videos out. Call after the next day. Having a team, we have a team that can help you do that. It sounds better coming from you. However, if you're busy, you're busy. We can help you with that, and then ask for appointments. Let's talk about the results, right? Because results matter. So this is what she did over January to August from that class. 15 new listings, 18 million in sales, 250 sellers added to a database. You tell me if it works. I'll listen. If you have any negativity about it, reach out. Let's talk about it. But I think the numbers speak for themselves. Social media content strategy. So this is obviously where we're definitely subject matter experts, and we can definitely help you with that. If you do not have a strategy, we will help you create one. So what are the expert? What are you the expert? What are you the authority of? How are you going to help shed light to your expertise? If you don't have an answer to that, sit down with us. We'll have a conversation about what you do best. Actionable ideas. You can swipe and deploy. Social media content ideas, post about your specialty. If you're like a relocation person, you can always post about that, saying you're a subject matter expert, and then show data points. Obviously, if you're a subject matter expert, but you know where to find that stuff. If you do not know where to find that stuff, reach out to us. We'd love to help you unlock that. Social media content ideas continue, causes you support, events and local happenings. Being active in your local market is going to be massive. Going out to local restaurants, reviewing their food, talking about it, right? Showing that you are a person and that you know where you work and you live. Client stories, understanding their wins and talking about it. It is not an easy market. It is okay to talk about how tough it is. But when you're talking about how tough it is, you got to show people how you win. Now let's talk about when to post. Looking at this slide here, you got to put yourself in the mind of a normal consumer, a 9-to-5er, as they say, and understand when they're around their phones and what that game plan looks like. So take a second and check this out. But this is the most important thing, too, when you're trying to gain influence over a group of people. It is when you're about to post, you want to ask yourself, is this post going to get commented on? Is this post someone would come back to and look at? Does this post have a call to action? How likely are you to save this post? How likely are you to tap on the profile and see more about the post? So when you're generally out there pushing that information, you want to make sure that everything that you're posting is well thought out and it has a example. For example, as we know, I'm sure every loan officer in the country called you and said, hey, did you know that multi-unit properties, you can do 5% down? If you were to ask a normal consumer, they have no idea what that means. So understanding it, dumbing it down, breaking it out so they can educate themselves is what we're talking about. What are you doing to persuade them, to let them know that you are that subject matter expert and that they should follow you? Another strategy with social media is prospecting and utilizing your social medias as your CRM. What does that mean? Connection before conversation. It is definitely going to be the way of the future. The average agent or loan officer only makes calls when they feel like it, has no marketing strategy plan, complains about hating social media, doesn't reinvest commissions, assumes all circle of influence will be loyal or remember them. And we all know that that's not true. And then just blames the rates in the market. Top performers, however, prospect daily, has a clear marketing strategy plan, embraces social media, reinvest commissions, actively engages with their circle of influence or sphere of influence, adjusts market conditions, and just takes action. This is what we want to point out, is that you have to be active. You have to be active daily. This is not a job. This is a career. If you're using this as a job, you will slowly get phased out. And that is what we are trying to help you stop. Obviously, you're taking the time to rewatch this class or watch this class for the first time. And that's what we truly appreciate. If you need help understanding what we talked about today, you are able to reach out to us at any time. You have all of our data points. If you don't, you can set up a 15-minute one-on-one meeting with me or somebody on my team, or just simply follow me, and start commenting on my stuff and get some of the ideas from me, because I get ideas from other people. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. You understand this market. You are super passionate about this job. You're super passionate about making this a full-time career. These are the things that you want to start thinking about. I hope to see you at our next class. Sorry you couldn't make it, or if you did make it and watching this for the second time, again, it was such an honor. Let me know what we can do to improve. Reach out to me and let us know how we can help you close more business. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for your attendance.